Good morning, good evening, good night. Wherever you are, wherever you happen to be, welcome to another edition of the Living World of Darkness, New York by Night. The scene is set within Ventru Towers. Frank Green has gone ahead and contacted Lady Sheridan wanting to discuss some business ventures that he believes will be beneficial to both herself and himself. Lady Sheridan, having worked on Ventru Towers quite a bit, renovating it, and now actually starting to get it just exactly the way that she ought to, goes ahead and suggests a meeting room up there. We find ourselves with the scene set within that very meeting room, with Frank Green knocking on that door to be allowed in.
It's open.
Frank Green enters the room, and he's actually quite taken aback. He's seen this room before, but it's been moved around. It's very much different than what he remembers. He simply goes ahead and asks Miss Sheridan, Miss Sheridan, do you... No, it would have been before your time, but was there a big oak desk in this room before? Do you know?
I'm not entirely sure. I think we moved most of the furniture down to the 15th floor, and then we've been taking pieces from it that seem to have potential and putting them where they might be of use.
Fair dues, fair dues. I think I remember this place. No. This was the office. This was a smaller office below. I think a few floors up there's that tiled room that we made a mess out of once before. In any case, how have you been lately?
I have been quite good, actually. Aside from the tedious task of showing our seneschal around.
We have a seneschal, you say?
Yes. A Mr. Bagger.
Mr. Bagger. How do we find him?
And she will hand over a piece of paper which has his contact details written on. She's written a few of these out ahead of time because she's been asked to tell as many people as possible.
Frank Green goes ahead and, pockets the slip of paper, and he simply says, okay, let's try it. How do we find his nature?
Well, he doesn't seem the most respectful of people.
Well, that's disconcerting. What accreditation does he come with? What has he done before that we would know of?
He didn't really go into the specifics. I suppose it is up to the prince to decide who he will take as seneschal, but he's come to the city specifically to fill that position, and seems to imply that he has been involved in cities that are undergoing somewhat tumultuous times before.
So he's been in war cities, or he's been in cities with a lot of civil unrest?
Yes. Like I said, he didn't go into the specifics, but the implication is that he goes where he believes to be needed, or where it is believed he is needed.
Fair enough. I'll talk to the prince when I have a chance about his credits. But in any case, Lady Sheridan, how long have we been in the city?
I have been in the city around 3 months now.
Okay, that's a goodly odd amount of time. You getting settled into the particular industries that fancy you?
I'm working on it. I am becoming involved in the city, as you may have noticed.
Nope, I have definitely noticed, and you've been quite a help with this maestro case that's been plaguing us for a while, which is why I come to you tonight.
She'll raise an eyebrow, but that's about it.
Lady Sheridan, I've heard talk, or at least from the last gathering that you put together, that coteries are being formed, and from what I'm here, a lot of the newcomers have already gravitated to themselves. Are we a part of a coterie yet?
I'm not.
For myself, I find the benefits of being a coterie 20-fold. It makes my particular nights a little bit easier, and I think I've got a few people that I would invite to join with me in this venture, and your name is the first name that comes up.
There'll be a small smirk. Well, it depends quite heavily on the purposes that you have in mind, the people that, well, the other people that you have on your list, and quite how you think that the dynamics of the coterie should work.
Okay. Basically, what I see here with this new coterie is more of a power block to the city. All of the other people on this list I've got hold different positions and titles at which they've earned and gained in the city. And I've seen their work in the field. They're very, very capable kindred as well. Your name is on the list, as well as Mitchell Limely. As well as Root. No, as well as Ghost, actually.
Now, Ghost, I would be happy to be in a coterie with, and Limey very much depends on his opinion of being in a coterie with me, but he seems acceptable. So
For
there shouldn't be a
myself,
problem. So there shouldn't be a problem with the people.
mm-hmm. The purpose, well, like I said, I don't see a lot of many capable kindreds walking around in the city, and the newcomers are still too green. I want to make sure that this city runs as well as possible.
It certainly doesn't hurt to have people communicating with each other and keeping an eye on things.
Mm-hmm. We seem to be able to at least set up gatherings and elysiums, which would be a great boon to the city's kindred. Um, Limely and Ghost, they seem to have a good head on their shoulders when it comes to the traditions, as well as making sure they're all followed and sometimes enforced. Uh, for myself, I've been an old hand in the city for far too long. The cityscape is new and strange to me. That's why I'm clinging on to capable kindred at the moment to help me out with this one.
It sounds good. That just leaves the one last issue.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamics. how do you envision the Coterie working as a cohesive whole?
Well then, I asked back at the gathering what this city really needed, and I'm still trying to piece together exactly what that means. This coterie is going to be mostly a power block. I just want to make sure that the city doesn't self-explode. I keep saying that. I just can't keep up with the specifics quite yet.
Well then, I see absolutely no problem in involving myself in this.
Fair dues, fair dues. Maybe together we'll figure out a particular reason and maybe even a future goal for this coterie beyond just trying to get together.
I don't think we'll have a problem with that.
Fair dues, fair dues.
After all,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, the list, yourself included, is very much about capable individuals who involve themselves in the city and involve themselves in making it better. And that is the kind of communal attitude and purpose that can turn itself to many goals and is unlikely to be left idle for long.
Yeah. Yeah. How long have I been in the city is the question. 9 months? Damn. Why am I not dead yet? I've been dead several times. Close to that anyways.
Well, do try to continue avoiding actually reaching that point.
Sure, sure, sure. I believe my goals in the city is simply to make it a little bit better. I mean, I have the children currently walking around. I don't want to. I don't want the city to be in any worse shape for her, at least.
I understand.
How is your own endeavor going in that particular situation?
There's yet to be a great deal of progress.
Unfortunate.
But I can simply hope that she'll be located alive and well.
True, true, true. One piece of business that comes to mind at the moment. Apparently, I've gone ahead and grabbed every single body that I can and put them mostly into safe places. Let me get back to you. About the ghouls that you were handed over that used to be in the possession of Lady Arabeth. Um, are they still in working order, or are they had an issue or whatever?
They are, well, they are gradually coming to themselves. It will be some time before they are entirely better, shall we say.
Fair dues. The body of Lady Arabeth is currently being kept safely and should be presented to the prince for his judgment, hopefully shortly. Perhaps the Seneschal can help us with that endeavor. The last time we had a torpid kindred in my possession, we handed it over to Silas, who was acting as Seneschal at the moment, and he made the decision.
We'll see. Out of
Mm-hmm.
character, I've been told that until I buy the retainer dots,
Mm-hmm.
they will just basically be house guests because of all the trauma going on. And this downtime, I should be buying one dot because presumably one of them is better enough to take part, and the other one will still be presumably blood bonded, but not quite stable enough to do anything yet. Traumatized.
Gotcha. Extended house guess. About the tower. How are you filling out this tower?
Well, I've been making some progress so far. There's a company involved in cryogenics and a gym and cafe going on the ground floor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Tobias, the new Ravnos, he is
Mm-hmm.
talking about coming up with a business plan for me, which might involve a few suggestions on people.
Okay. I was really surprised when he turned up at my doorstep and pretty much just came clean with the fact of his bloodline. Usually, the Ravnos aren't quite as open like that.
Yes, I was quite amused by the report that Mr. Rossi seemed to think that he was a Ventru until told otherwise.
His dress and his manner? Quite possibly, although I was pretty damn sure that he was going to go ahead and declare himself clanless, and at which point things would have gotten awkward, but if he declares himself Ravnos, so be it. Last few Ravnos I've actually had the pleasure to talk to happened to be on the road between here and Maine, actually, and that was a single one. And that one was scared for some odd reason. Didn't want to talk about his brothers and sisters.
Hmm. Fair enough.
They're Ravnos, they're vagabonds, much like the gangrel, but they're much rarer sort. They just don't travel in the same circles that we do.
Very true, but we'll see how he proves himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's already joined their little coterie.
Rossi, Tobias, Isabel, yeah,
And the gangrel.
and Jason. We'll go ahead and talk to that boy about accepting too many gifts from that Rossi.
I rather think it might be Isabel that he's accepting the gifts from, but it makes little difference.
He's found his own little place in the city, and I will not judge him harshly for doing so.
Yes, though I did have a conversation with Isabel about appropriate terminology regarding gangrel.
Okay. He sort of quirks me about that.
At at the most recent gathering, the one that you were unable to attend, the three of them, well, and they met Tobias there, but they seem they seem on good terms with each other,
Mm-hmm.
which perhaps led Isabel to making jokes which, whilst acceptable between them, might be offensive to any gangrel that might possibly overhear. She referred.
Synchronistic moment is just going to go ahead and lower his sunglasses so you can see his glowing eyes.
Mhm.
Go on.
She referred to him as her pet gangrel.
I'm gonna go talk to that boy now.
He growled,
Mm-hmm.
and her response, whilst playful in tone and not intended as insult, her response was to say, "Don't make me fetch the muzzle."
I'm gonna talk to both of them now.
Yes, I had a conversation with her about appropriate terminology, both there and with Ghost more recently. I very much hope that she has got the message, but yes.
That boy has to learn that he's not beholden to anybody quite yet. And that girl better learn her manners.
Yes.
In any case, I'm not going to ruin a good thing with boisterous demands. Just a little side comma, moving straight. Sometimes my beast gets the better of me in these types of situations.
Yes. Well, if you could try and avoid getting too rough with the girl. I think,
Oh,
as you said, some conversation is certainly called for, but conversation has been had, and hopefully it has sunk in. But another warning, especially as I mentioned that whilst she might know that it is inappropriate in front of Gangrel, it is inappropriate in front of pretty much anyone because, well, people talk.
they do. They do, in fact.
Especially, especially to their sheriff.
For my sakes. Well, I'm gonna have a fun night tonight. In any case, as far as the Maestro case is concerned, we had a bit of an intermission. I mean, Limey himself was able to deter a random breach from happening at the Debussy concert, apparently.
Excellent.
He tried to tail the Maestro, but lost sight of her. In any case, good effort on his part for making sure the masquerade was covered, and he did his best trying to tail him.
Yes, perhaps it might have gone better if he had contacted some people ahead of time, but yes. After all, I'm sure that you have a few friends that might have a better chance of tailing someone.
Damn it, got just the man for it too. Didn't think to call him up. Oh well, lost opportunities.
I was actually thinking of the more four-legged variety, but yes.
Oh no. That's the other one that usually travels with him. I got the guy, and I've got his particular animal retainer. I like to keep them together simply because they work better together.
Yes, fair enough. It's just, I had thought that people tend to pay rather little attention to stray dogs or cats.
Something to think about for next time. I can't be in all places at once as much as I would like to.
But if, depending on how intelligent a dog you are able to acquire,
Mm-hmm.
You could always give Limey a few very basic hand signals to set the dog after the right target.
You know, they are particularly trained. I mean, the collie is trained, fairly intelligent, and this is why I keep that man on the street as well as that dog on the street together. They make a pretty damn good team when I'm not around. In any case, yes. For next time, should we be trailing a suspect, we'll have a particular overwatch with an intelligent creature.
On that note, I don't suppose that I could see about asking you for some advice on dog training in general.
Well, Sheridan, I didn't realize that you were interested in such a subject, but yeah, I can offer my advice.
It's not something that I have particular interest in at the moment, but given the potential for various different things to happen,
Application.
and the potential applications, yes. I'm thinking some kind of an animal companion, whether a dog or a rat or something with enough intelligence to be able to carry messages, track people, something of that nature. It might be worth looking into, not necessarily for myself, but perhaps for Ghost as your hound, Limey, as he seems to be fulfilling that function as well. I'm simply thinking of how useful police dogs can be. And given your clan's talents, it could be applied in a similar way.
Interesting. I know a few actually I know a few I know a few dog kennels just outside of the city in Queens, actually. There are quite a few different intelligence and smart dogs up there. Absolutely have to have the willingness to walk up there. Ask for a few of the smarter breeds to show me a few tricks, see what they can do, talk to the creature itself, see if it's willing.
Well, I have the space to set up some kind of kennels or place for them to live with a rather large yard.
Are you talking about the estate that you have in Two Bridges, I assume?
Yes.
It's a big lawn. Definitely could be useful. I just need to go ahead and select a few different breeds, mix match them. There might be a mutt or two in there, but that's simply because I like mutts. They're quite adorable if you know what you're doing.
As much as my clan may seem to stand upon breeding, I've always been of the opinion that the individual is likely of more importance than their history.
And besides that, mutts tend to be, or I should say, mutts that are raised in a good home tend to be a lot more healthy than pure breed, simply because there's not a lot of medical problems. You get a good mix of genetics, and you find out which really hardy or not.
Hybrid vigor.
Yep.
Not to mention that if they were to be set to tailing someone, they're likely to be less recognizable, less easily described, and more easily made to appear like a stray.
Yep. I remember one of my clansmen actually telling me how much he loves to pick up strays. Well, not necessarily just stray dogs, but stray kindred as well, and point them in the right path.
Now, I have very little experience with animals, but I see no reason why, as I said, I can't make at least a section of that land available to them.
Fair enough. If you don't mind, I can also have one of my retainers walk by and advise some of your work crew about how that area should be prepared.
That's quite fine with me.
Hmm. Fair dues, fair dues. Let's see. Hmm. Think about what else I should be doing tonight. I'll probably be walking out to the bay to see how the conservation movements are currently going with that. We're trying to go ahead and re-marshalize, or should say, stop the erosion around the airport. A lot of that exhaust fume is starting to actually do some damage there.
Limestone might be helpful.
Limestone would definitely be helpful. The last project we did out there was simply to go ahead and take some blocks, take some weeds, some fertilizer, some sand, some gravel as well. Just set it up in a long, long row around that eroding shoreline, and it took about actually it took about a year or so to see that actually come to fruition to recover that shoreline a little bit. Perhaps some limestone would help us out there.
Well, when it comes to pollution, a lot of the issue to do with erosion is the acidity. And the limestone being alkaline would end up being dissolved, and whilst it would slowly erode into the water, it will decrease the erosion of other things.
Yeah, that would definitely work out. That would definitely help. How does your foray into... Okay, let me just say this. How is your growing influence in the media taking you?
It is growing.
Hmm. Very good.
Well, I did end up meeting a few extra people as a result of the Maestro's efforts.
Mm-hmm.
Never let it be said that that as bad as things might be, there is not some good that can be made out of them.
It's all about the opportunities and how you pursue them, definitely. For myself, I don't think I've actually gotten out of my own personal training. Seems like I just don't get out as much as I used to. Much prefer just to hone my own abilities rather than get out and see the people around town.
I don't blame you. It's well, there are rather a lot to deal with, and it never seems to be entirely settled.
No, doesn't seem entirely settled. Some unfortunate news. It seems Van Moray has left the city, quite permanently this time.
Well, that is something of a shame, I suppose.
Yep. I hope that your and his business had already been settled, or at least progressed to a comfortable point.
Oh, yes, I merely needed his assistance getting my foot in the door, so to speak. Past that
Good.
point, well, I'm sure you know how persuasive I can be at times.
Yep. Yep. Which just leads on. It leads on to another question. We haven't had a Primogen Council in the city for quite a while, not since Voorhees' reign. And I see a few of these different clan titles being filled up. Yourself fulfilling the Venture one. Who else in the city holds that title of Primogen?
Well, I believe Rick is the Malkavian Primogen.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruja, I think it might be Ghost as the Bruja Primogen.
Mm-hmm.
There are no Toreador. Officially, there are no Tremere.
Officially, I like that. I like that word.
That just leaves the...
What about the Nosferatu?
Yes, Mr. Silas is the Nosferatu Primogen.
Well, he's also the prince at the moment, so grabbing his attention can always be a little bit more cumbersome. Has he declared a whip or a second to the clan?
He has declared a whip.
Okay. Which one is he?
Mr. Dales.
Really?
Yes, I think, to be honest, it is something of an interim measure. Silas holds on to the position of primogenship because I believe he might feel that there is no one suitable for the position.
Fair dues, fair dues. For a long time, he was the only Nosferatu within the city, or at least the only one that made himself known. As far as the Gangrel are concerned, well, that's pretty much the rub of it. Without Van Nore, that title kind of passes on to me, and I'm not sure I want to take it.
Well, it's entirely up to you, but I don't think that the position of primogen in this city, with as few vampires as we have, is truly a great burden. I have had more duties involved with wardenship than with primogenship, and I have no doubt that you will be more caught up as the sheriff than as the primogen.
This is true. This is true. With Van Nore gone, a lot of the tradition has fallen out of the clan. What am I left with? I'm left with a few neonates under me.
And to be honest, in your position as sheriff, you would want to ensure their good behaviour, no matter whether you were the primogen or not. So it, to my mind, it doesn't seem like it is likely to be a particularly weighty burden. But, as I said, it's entirely up to you.
I'm going to have to think about this a little bit more, but in any case, I think we've got a goodly roster. Let's see if it...
The question is, Tobias, who represents him? We cannot allow just any clan that shows up to insist upon a place at the table simply by the virtue of being the only one, but he should have some form of representation.
I'll speak to him on the matter and see if he'll take. I will speak to him on the matter. We vagabonds can look out for each other, because the Ravnos and the Gangrel, though, well, a very, very contentious relationship. We understand. We understand the bloodline.
She'll nod. I'm
How
sure
about this?
that you're quite aware of Frederick's solution.
Frederick?
Frederick Hegenbath.
What? He's still in the city?
Yes, he is.
And you know him?
I know him.
How well do you know him?
Quite well.
I think I know him a little bit better.
It is entirely possible, but if you're referring to what I think you're referring to, I am aware.
Okay. If he is claiming clanship under his former alliances, and if he chooses that name, if he chooses that persona, then I believe you, Lady Sheridan, represent his interests as a good,
Yes.
upstanding crew.
Yes, of course. What I'm saying is that perhaps a more open but similar kind of solution could be appropriate for Tobias. If he were to find someone that he feels represents his interest, much as Rose has as well.
Oh, you're talking about... Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna have to pull a Dr. Softly on this one, aren't I?
I'm afraid I don't quite get the reference. I've heard his name mentioned a great deal, but not enough to know quite what you're meaning on this.
Alright. Dr. Softly is the original kindred to bring Rose into his own clan as her foster sire for a time. And he
Yes.
was the one to eventually release her into the clan proper.
Yes. Well, as you were saying that you intended to have a little word with him, perhaps you could ask him which clan he feels a strongest kinship with. Of course, it is then up to the primogen of that clan to make a decision as to whether they agree to represent him. And then several months are likely to be needed before he could be considered a member of the clan proper. But if you were to find out where his interests lie, that might be appropriate.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like we're going to go ahead and grab Tobias, ask him who he feels best along with in the Camarilla clans, tell him that he's going to go into one of these Camarilla clans, talk to the primogen of said clan, see if they accept it, and
not that he is going to go into the clan, just that he is going to be represented.
His interests. His interests. Sound good? That's what I thought you were saying.
Because he is a member of a clan. There is no reason for him to need to join a clan or to claim to be a part of a clan, but he needs someone that he can take his concerns to in order to have them heard at the council.
Yeah, looking at his particular dress and personality, and may not be the vagabonds he goes with.
It may be the Malkavians or even the Nosferatu. It is entirely debatable, but I think that he should be able to choose who to be approached first.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll set that plan into motion. Let's see. Is there any other business that we can discuss before time sort of takes me?
Well, regarding Elysiums, I can certainly gather people and provide a comfortable place, but I'm not sure that enforcing rules is quite my strong point. But then it is something of yours. In the absence of a Keeper of Elysium, until such time as Mr. Silas finds a replacement, I rather think that our coterie as a whole, when it is properly assembled, could work together on the matter of gatherings.
Yeah. We can go ahead and break up the Keeper of Elysium into its different responsibilities and duties and see how the coterie can fulfill it.
Yes, because I rather liked your approach regarding the rave. And I think that in terms of security of getting the people together physically and to the right place, you have a few more skills than I do. When it comes to finding a place where we can all sit comfortably and converse, well, I have been looking into that somewhat. And of course, this meeting room could do just as well as any other for some of them.
For some of them, let's go ahead and stress this one right off the bat. We relied too heavily on Ventrue Towers as our main meeting point, and when it got hit, we just had no other option, and the Elysium simply stopped.
No, of course. I think that no two Elysiums should be held in the same place in a row. It may be one that we come back to rather more frequently than others, but still not with any kind of regularity.
Yep. I wonder if I can get back to Columbia University, because they had some really, really interesting tunnel system down there. That was a neat trick that Dr. Softly pulled off once or twice.
Well, it's certainly something to look into. And Ghost and Limey, if they are available, can handle a good deal of the guiding of people in keeping to the Elysium rules.
Yep, definitely. They look like they could keep a kindred from making too much of a faux pas or making too much of an ass of himself.
Yes. So between the four of us, I rather think that we can fulfill the role of keeper better than any individual that I can think of.
True, true. There you go. We have one more responsibility for the coterie that we found out together, or at least you did, with assistance from myself.
She'll smile. As I said, if our purpose is to improve the city, I doubt that we will go without goals for long.
Fair dues, fair dues. Green looks at his watch for a simple second. The night takes me, I'm sorry to say.
I quite understand. I have a few matters to deal with myself, but as I said, do try and be a little gentle with the Malkavian.
Oh, it's not the Malkavian I'm worried about. It's my own clansman.
Yes, well, I know that your clan does tend to be relatively sturdy.
Oh, you would think so, but he sort of flinched at me. I don't like flinchers. Flinchers don't usually work out in the clan too often.
I think, and I very much hope not to cause offence with this, I think that as individuals go, he's more of a follower than a leader. And as much as I don't generally want to make the faux pas of associating Gangrel with animals in any way that people might consider negative, his personality does remind me rather of a dog looking for a master.
He's new in the city. He's new in the city. He's trying to find his own place. I remember myself being exactly like that. Actually, I remember myself sitting right there. He goes ahead and points to a corner with Silas there. Before he's there, he goes ahead and points to another two corners, and then I believe it was Calliope? Yeah, Calliope right there. I was brand new to the city. I was just trying to find my place. Silas picked me off of the out of the subway train that I was on, led me right here to present myself, and I was just simply talking to Voorhees, trying to make my place known, trying to present myself, and they pretty much just gave me a job to do. I had to go to North Brother Island, which is an entirely different story that I should tell you about at some point or another, but I understand it. He's simply trying to make himself as useful as possible in a new city.
Yes, and there's, as much as people might think that the association is negative, I honestly do not believe it to be so. Dogs are loyal and quite useful, as we've already discussed, and not everyone can be a leader. If everyone was a leader, we would never get anywhere for the arguing over it. I see a lot of potential in him, despite his flinching. I think that he needs a place and he needs a purpose. And when given those things, I'm sure that he will grow.
Yep. I also have to talk to my own little one and see how she is doing, but that's clan business. I don't want to drag that all here into this meeting. Lady Sheridan, thank you for seeing me on such short notice and being able to counsel me on such matters.
Not at all what a coterie mate's for.
Fair dues, fair dues. Leave me out?
Of course. And she will walk Frank out and see him off. And there, I think the scene will end.